Hi Algebra 2, this is Unit 1, Lesson 4, homework answers. So in this lesson we were talking about exponents, and you should remember that when you're multiplying you add these exponents. So if you're looking at question 17a, remember if there is no exponent there's actually a 1 right there. So I multiply the numbers in front, so negative 2 times negative 9 is 18, and then I just add those exponents. There's 5 x's in the first expression and 1 x in the second expression. Same thing on B, 4 times 8 is 32, and then I have 2 x's and 5 x's, so that's x to the 7th, and there's 1 y right here and 3 y, so y to the 4th. And when you have a power to a power, you actually multiply those exponents, but let me just show you why. So it's 5x to the 4th squared, which means it's really 5x to the 4th times itself. And 5 times 5 is 25, and here I am multiplying, so I add those exponents up. So it's 25x to the 8th. Otherwise, you could think of it as I'm squaring the 5. This 2, I'm squaring the 5. 5 squared is 25. And then this, see the parentheses will remind you you're going to multiply 4 times 2 is 8. In D, you're multiplying 2/3 times 12, which is 8, and I add the exponents, 8x to the 5th. And in E, I'm going to multiply all the numbers. 2 times 5 is 10, times negative 6 is negative 60. And I got 2 x's. This is 1x. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So in 18, I'm filling in the missing portion of each product to make the equation an identity. So basically the left side and the right side should be equal. They should be identical to each other. So really what I'm doing is I'm figuring out what do I need to multiply 3x squared by to get 18x to the 6th. So 3 times 6 is 18, and then x squared, I would need to multiply that by x to the 4th in order to get x to the 6th. You can sort of think of it as you're taking 18x to the 6th and dividing by 3x squared. That will give you that 6x to the 4th. So you can either think of it as division, or you can think of what do I need to multiply by to get that original thing on the left. So same thing here, 40 divided by 8 is 5, and then x squared and x, and when I'm dividing I subtract the exponents, and then I have y to the 7th and y squared, so again I subtract those exponents. You can always check your answers. If I was to multiply 8x squared times 5xy to the 5th, will I get 40x squared y to the 7th? Then yes, I will. C, 90 divided by 15 is 6. And then again, I'm going to divide my exponents, subtract my exponents. X to the 4th divided by x is x to the 3rd. And y divided by y is actually no y's. Now, could I write y to the 0? Sure, but it just looks a little strange. Y to the 0 is just equal to 1. So generally, I just write nothing. 24 x to the 6th equals negative 3x squared times what? Well, negative 3 times negative 8 is 24. And then x squared times x to the 4th is x to the 6th. So this time I was thinking of it as multiplication, but whatever you're comfortable with, you want to figure out what you need to multiply by to get that on the left rather, or you want to think of it as division. Negative 48 divided by negative 16 is 3, and then I'm dividing, so I'll subtract these exponents. So 4 minus 2 is x squared, and 10 minus 2 is y to the 8th. And then I can just do a little quick check just to make sure, hey, if I was to multiply these two terms here, would it equal that? And yes, it would. 19, I'm using the distributive property to write each of the following products as polynomials. So just remember when you're using the distributive property to follow all your rules. 4x times 5x is 20x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. In B, I got negative 10x squared. 2x times 2x squared is negative 20. X to the 4th, because I'm going to multiply those, add those exponents when I'm multiplying. Negative 10, there's a 1 in front of here, so that's just going to stay negative 10. Again, I add those exponents. There's really a 1 here on the 8. And then negative 10x squared times negative 8 is 80x squared. And then C, again, I'm using that distributive property. 7 times 2 is 14, x to the 3rd, y to the 4th. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. X, y to the 8th. Okay, notice there was an X in the front, but there was no X here, so they just left that. I had nothing to add it to. And then 20 down here is similar. If you want to think of this as division, so I'm dividing both of these by 5x to the third. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. Again, I subtract the exponents when I'm multiplying. Negative 35 divided by 5 is negative 7. And I subtract the exponents, so there's no x term left at all. So it's probably easier on these to think of these as division. So I'm saying negative 2xy times what would equal this whole thing. So take this and divide it by negative 2xy. Each term gets divided by negative 2xy. So negative 8 divided by negative 2 is 4. Subtract those exponents. The y's cancel out. 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. Subtract those exponents. And then negative 10 divided by negative 2 is 5. And again, subtract those exponents. The x's will disappear. And y to the third divided by y is y squared. So that's my answer right here. Just take your time while you're doing them. If you got these wrong, then certainly just make sure you go through them to that you're comfortable and you understand what it is that you need to do. Same thing here. I'm going to take this 45x to the fourth minus 30x to the third plus 15x squared and divide it by 15x squared. So 45 divided by 15 is 3. And again, I subtract those exponents. So I'll be left with 3x squared. Negative 30 divided by 15 is negative 2. Subtract those exponents. And 15x squared divided by 15x squared, they actually cancel, but you do need that 1. So something divided by itself is equal to 1. You need that 1 placeholder there. D is a little bit tricky, so just be careful. X minus 3, so basically I'm taking this and I'm dividing by x minus 3, both terms. So these cancel right here, and I'm just left with x squared. And then again, these cancel, and I'm left with 1. But that's a little bit trickier. We got 2 more problems on the next page. Write each of the following out as extended products and then simplify. So they did the first one first so they could see x squared to the third means you're taking that x squared and you're multiplying it by itself 3 times, which really equals x to the 6th, because when you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So x third squared means you're taking x third and you're multiplying it by itself twice. Now when you're multiplying, you add the exponents. Get x to the 6th. X to the 5th to the 4th means you're taking x to the 5th and you're going to multiply it by itself 4 times. When I'm multiplying, I add the exponents 5, 10, 15, 20. And x to the 4 to the third power means I'm taking x to the 4th and I'm going to multiply it by itself 3 times. When I'm multiplying, I add the exponents. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So look at all of these. What have I actually done when I have a power to a power? Okay, power to a power. Look to see if we can find a pattern there. I said it before, but I am actually multiplying those exponents. So a power to a power, 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. Power to a power, you are multiplying those exponents. You're going to remember that you're multiplying because you have those parentheses between the 2 numbers telling you to multiply. So x times a to the b power is really just x to the a times b. So power to a power, we multiply the exponents. Okay, and those are the answers for